Some Kind of Happiness, Chapter 21. My aunts had to drag my cousins out of the house on Tuesday morning, literally, in Dex and Ruth's case. Not even Kennedy's sweet talking can console them. I help Aunt Bridget and get Dex and Ruth settled in the car. They will not sit still until I remind them of their impending knighthood, at which point they turn into statues. Once they're buckled in, Aunt Bridget closes the door and lets out a huge sigh. Thanks, Finley. You're welcome. I tell you, I have never seen them like this. Coming over here for days and days at a time, that certainly never happened before. They usually think Grandma's house is so boring. There's nothing to do here. She'll make us clean. Can we go home yet? But now, you think taking them for 2 short days is the end of the world. Aunt Bridget looks like she cannot decide if she wants to smile. She brushes hair out of my eyes, and her fingers are warm against my skin, like Mom's. I try not to lean into her, but I think I might just a little bit. You're working some kind of magic on them, Finley. Avery passes by on her way to the garage, wearing her orange paint shorts, a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, and a crooked smile. Black magic, you mean? Aunt Bridget rolls her eyes. Don't mind Avery. She's a teenager. She can't help being obnoxious. I laugh, which feels strange. This is sharp and shiny Aunt Bridget, after all. I know she's angry at Dad. I always wonder if she's angry at me, too. But then Aunt Bridget holds me close and kisses the top of my head. I hear her heartbeat, and I wonder, since we are hearts, if mine sounds like hers. I'm glad you're here, she whispers, and instead of answering, I press my cheek harder against her chest. When they leave, I run after their car down the long driveway, waving back at Dex and Ruth until I can no longer keep up. Mom calls at 7:57 on Thursday. She has not called in a few days, and I wasn't expecting her tonight, but I guess she felt brave enough to conquer her phone fear today. When her picture pops up on the screen, her freckled face kissing my freckled face, I smile. It's impossible to look at that picture without smiling. Our faces are so squashed and so happy in it. If someone found my notebook and read what I had written about my mother, they might think I don't like her very much. Mom snapped at me tonight when I messed up her stack of papers. Then Dad snapped at her for snapping at me. And now they're downstairs yelling at each other. I hate her. Mom's yelling again. I hate it when she's like this. She gets so stressed. I don't know how to talk to her. Mom didn't let me take my notebook with me when we ran errands today. She doesn't get me at all. And I don't get her. And I don't want to. I wonder if Mom is where I get my blue days from. They have to come from somewhere, don't they? I'm not sure which idea is more terrifying, that my blue days come from my mother, or that they don't come from anywhere in particular. That they are toxic clouds floating through the universe, and they thought I was worth latching onto. But when I am with Mom, and she is happy, I feel like I am not simply myself, but a piece of something bigger and stronger. Finley! Even through the phone connection, Mom's voice is a clear, crisp bell. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry it's been days. I really am, but I've been so busy. I sneak downstairs and out onto the green. Grandma has the kitchen windows open while she bakes, and a Jimmy Reed song drifts across the yard with the dragonflies. The freshly cut grass is warm and scratchy on my bare feet. I really feel rotten, baby, but you know how crazy this time of year gets. With Mom, every time of year is crazy. How are she and Dad possibly talking about anything important if all they do is work? I curl my toes into the grass. It's almost like I can feel the green color seep up through the bottoms of my feet, sleepy and slow like a drinking glass of water on a hot day. I know, Mom, it's okay. So tell me everything. How's it going? My mom asks me whenever we talk, but this time I'm not sure how to answer her. My summer has, over the past week, become much more complicated than I anticipated. Fine, I say. But there was a fire and no one talks about it. No big deal. I hear Mom typing on her computer. And how is everyone? She asks. How best to describe the mood at Hart House tonight? From here I can see inside the big living room windows. Dex and Ruth are galloping around on their hands and knees, probably pretending to be unicorns, which is Dex's favorite game. Gretchen is running back and forth between the kitchen and the living room. Each time she comes back, she holds a fresh cookie. Kennedy is braiding Avery's hair, who is braiding Aunt Dee's hair. Stick and Aunt Bridget are dancing to Grandma's music. Aunt Bridget holds a drink. Stick is wearing a glittery paper pirate hat that Ruth made. Uncle Nelson and Grandpa sit in their big leather chairs trying to watch TV, but I can't imagine they can actually hear it. I grin watching them. Same as always. Loud. Mom laughs, her real laugh. It is this great big guffaw she tries to hide when she speaks with clients because she thinks it sounds unprofessional. Whenever I make her laugh, her real laugh, I feel like I will never have a blue day again. Your dad said Hart House has always been a bit of a zoo, she says. I guess that hasn't changed, huh? What else? I feel like, what else? You feel like what? I miss you so much. I feel like I haven't seen you in months. And it's only been what? 5 weeks? I sit down in one of the swings and push myself back and forth, trying not to think of what the past month has been like for my parents. Did they send me to Grandma's to protect me from whatever is happening at home? Or did they send me away because I was making things worse? 4 weeks ish. Well, feels longer to me. How are you, really? I'm okay, really. You would tell me, right? If you were miserable? Yes, I lie. I don't lie about many things, but I always lie about that. There is enough going on in my parents' lives. They don't need to worry about me. I'm fine. I should be happy, so I will be. Mom sighs. I'm just checking, that's all. I'm having fun mostly. Oh, honey, you're not still scared of Avery, are you? Mom, I'm not scared of her, but she's 17. We have nothing to talk about, and she's so pretty. So are you, Finley. I roll my eyes. You're my mom, that doesn't count. It does too. It counts double. You sound like Ruth. She thinks she and Dex should get double votes, double ice cream, double everything. She says since they're twins, they have special powers, so we have to keep them happy, or else they'll turn to the dark side. She's a little nuts. Mom chuckles. Remind me again? That's Bridget's daughter, right? It feels strange to hear Mom say Aunt Bridget's name. Yeah. I wonder, if we had been a normal family all this time, would Mom and Bridget be friends? Are you still going on drives with your grandfather? Sometimes. And then I am thinking about the article and Grandpa's face as he reads it, like it was an article not about a fire, but about the end of the world. Does Mom know about the Travers fire? The question begs to be let out, but I don't allow myself to ask it. Not tonight. Who knows when Mom will call again? I dig my toes into the ground so hard I feel dirt wedged beneath my nails. Act normal, Finley. Nothing is wrong here. Nothing at all. Did you know Grandpa does crossword puzzles too? I ask her. And Uncle Nelson? But he's not as good at them as Dad is. No one's as good as crossword puzzles as your dad, except for you, maybe, but don't tell him I said that. Hearing Mom talk about Dad like everything is the same, like we are at home sneaking pepperonis off Dad's slices of pizza and trying not to burst out laughing, it makes me feel light inside, like I am made of wings flying up and up. Sometimes they go with Stick when she runs, I continue, but that's just part of the way. I'm so glad you're getting to spend time with your aunts. What about Dee? Aunt Dee, I don't know. She's nice, but sometimes I think she's afraid to talk to me. She looks at me like, what is it? What do you mean? Like, she feels bad for me. Or she wants to say something, but then she decides not to. Ah, I see. Ah, I see. I pause, drawing circles in the dirt with my toe. She told me she loves Dad, that she always will. Mom goes quiet. I'm sure that's true. My wings slip away from me. I'm losing her. Grandpa likes Beethoven, I say quickly. I squeeze my eyes shut. Great, Beethoven. One more thing to remind Mom about Dad. Why can't why can I not think of safer things to say? But Mom just laughs and says, Don't you mean Beethoven? I relax against the swing. Yeah, we listen to that a lot and talk about random stuff. There are a ton of cows out where we drive. He's really funny, actually. He's always making these comments, like he has always really good comebacks. But then he can get really serious, too. The other day, he and Gretchen were playing chess, and I literally saw Gretchen sweating. She was so nervous. He's intense. That makes Mom laugh. I've heard that your grandfather has always been a formidable man. He wears nice pants and shirts every day, even when he's sitting around the house or whatever. Your dad once told me that when he was growing up, they had to change for dinner, Mom says. You couldn't wear sweats or pajamas. You had to put on nice, clean clothes, dresses for the girls, slacks for your father. I think of my typical dinner uniform at home, my pajamas, curled up on the couch. a plate on my lap, and Dad behind me at his desk, and Mom to my left in the kitchen, and something deep in my chest shifts, aching. I push myself back and forth on the swing. That's insane! I'm so glad they still don't do that. It was your grandmother's thing, apparently. She loves things to look nice. Mom pauses. Yes, she certainly does. I think she kind of scares me. Goodness, why is that? Because she almost made it in the kitchen last week, because she does not like to talk about upsetting topics, because most of the time I cannot see past her smile, but when I do, I see someone who is angry and sad and tired, and I'm afraid it is somehow because of me. I'm afraid I remind her of Dad and whatever he did. Because, I say, I don't know, she wears these pearls all the time, and she's constantly cleaning. She makes us clean too every day. Not normal cleaning, major cleaning. Like the president's coming over or something. She cooks every meal. And she does all this volunteer stuff. This clinic, the clinic and the library and backpacks for kids. And did you know she and Grandpa gave a bunch of money to the city? Like to the library and the parks and all that? Another pause, longer this time. I did know that, Mom says. Yes, of course. They got to meet the mayor and everything. I didn't know your dad yet, but yes. I remember him telling me about that. Isn't that great of them, Finley, to get involved in their community? Mama started using her work voice, light and fake and professional, and not Mom at all. I'm tired of adults with their secrets in their voices. Yeah, I say it's great. It's like someone has inserted a glass wall between us so we cannot touch each other, and I don't know where it came from, and I hate it. So, Mom says after a minute, Finley, there's something I wanted to talk to you about before we say goodnight. I twist the swing's ropes. The rough fibers bite into my palms. I bet I know what she wants to talk about. Her dad. Her and Dad. And me. And our house. And our things. And our family. And what will happen next. The fake smiles. The future. I am not an idiot. I will not listen to one word of it. Behind me, a door slams. I turn and see someone running down the hill from the Bailey house to the cluster of trees hiding the post office. Jack! I wave at him. Mom is talking, but I am not listening. I hear her words. Your father, trying really hard, not working, but I am not listening. I will not. I cannot. I wave and wave at Jack. Jack, please see me. He whistles like a mourning dove, which is the signal we use when we can't shout, to keep Grandma and Grandpa from hearing. He waves at me to come down, and I can see his smile even in the dark. This late, the Everwood crawls with shapes and shadows, but I am not afraid of them. Those shadows belong to me. I know just how they feel in my skin and in my hair and under my bare feet. My Everwood may have secrets, but it never lies. Not to me. Mom, I have to go, I say, and hang up without waiting for an answer. Late one night, the orphan girl awoke to find herself being blindfolded. Who's there? She demanded. What are your intentions? You'll see, came the voice of the Lady Night. As she was led through the Everwood, the orphan girl heard others, the champion, the young squires, the three rotters. Are you scared? Asked the pirate captain, laughter in his voice. It will take much more than a blindfold to frighten me, said the orphan girl boldly, and she felt pleased when the captain replied, I know. When the blindfold was removed, the orphan girl found herself in the wasteland, the bone house, a crooked shadow and looming overhead. The captain helped the orphan girl onto a large stump. The others gathered around her in a circle. Orphan girl, the pirate said, we have brought you here tonight to thank you for your bravery, your kindness, and your leadership. Without you, we would not have begun our adventures, and the rotters would no doubt still be an object of scorn. We have a crown, cried the youngest pirate, who was immediately silenced by the young lady squire, who tackled him to the ground for talking out of turn. The champion, acting quickly, separated them, and then scolded the lady squire for acting so undignified and on such an important occasion. We do indeed have a crown, continued the captain. Once the moment of chaos had passed, for you, orphan girl, deserve a grander title. You are not simply an orphan girl, you are our queen. Overcome, the orphan girl knelt on her throne. The young squires and the youngest pirate adorned her in necklaces made of paper flowers. The pirate captain gave her a crown, a circle of twigs tied together with vines. It was a perfect fit for the orphan girl's head. But she was an orphan girl no longer. She was a queen. I accept this crown, the Queen of the Everwood declared, and pledge to you, my loyal subjects, that I will do everything in my power to protect you and our Everwood from whatever evil may lurk in the world. The knight blessed the queen's shoulder with her sword. The rotters crowed their jubilation to the skies. The champion led a dance around the queen's throne. Afterward, the queen told them stories of the Everwood from the lonely days when she traveled on her own. The dagger in her pocket shifted, sharpened. The queen felt the prick of its blade, but she ignored it and what it might mean. For the queen, as you can imagine, had never been happier than she was at this moment. She even began to think her great sadness would would now, at long last, disappear. Chapter 22. No, 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 it's happening again. I wake up unable to move, pinned at my body by something I cannot name. My sheets are wet with sweat, and so am I. My heart is racing, and so is my mind. I imagine a spool of thread falling from my mom's hands as she sews the button back onto a tufted soft cushion. The spool rolls away and away down the stairs, its thread spinning loose faster and faster. That is me right now. I cannot breathe very well. There is a giant clamp on my chest. I lie still and try to think of what happened on Friday night. My coronation. My cousins surrounding me, dancing in my honor, and Jack placing the crown on my head. Think of that, Finley. Think of that. Focus on those memories. You were happy then, weren't you? You were. So why not now? Why do you feel so heavy now? You are not the Travers family, dead and buried. You are not the Bone House, broken and alone. You live in a mansion, with rooms full of people who have declared you to be their queen. But, my brain screams this, but you will never be as pretty as Avery, or as brave as Gretchen, or as kind as Kennedy, or as funny and wild as Jack. You are small and strange. You are far from home. You can't stop feeling sad. You are wrong. You are weak. Your parents are they're getting a train horn howls in the distance. There are tracks near the Hart House, somewhere near the woods. I keep hearing the horn, but I have not yet found the tracks. I imagine that I can hear the train's wheels churning, chugging, turning, and then the train's wheels are my heartbeat, and then I hurry toward the bathroom at the end of the hall, the one I share with Avery. I throw open the toilet seat lid and kneel in front of it. Maybe I need to throw up, but that's not it. I don't know what it is. I know I should be happy and sleeping, but instead I feel like I do not fit in my own body. A door opens. Avery. Finley? Oh, Avery, why did you have to wake up? I do not want you to see me right now. You cannot know. You cannot understand. I do not understand. Finley? She sits beside me on the floor. Are you sick? I shake my head. What's wrong? I whisper. I don't know. I feel. How to finish that sentence? I feel sad. I feel heavy. I feel itchy and afraid and out of breath and like my brain is on fire and nervous and guilty for being nervous and like I'm about to cry. Will I be like this forever? I will. I will. I won't. I can't. Please. Are you listening, whoever is in charge of such things? Please do not do this to me. I shake my head. What's going on here, Avery? A new voice, Grandma's voice. Oh no, Grandma! In her peach silk robe, her hair clean and neat and white. So perfect, even at night? How? If Avery wouldn't understand, then Grandma, She might hate me. She might be afraid of me if she knew. If she knew what? What is this? What is wrong with me? She might make me leave, separate me from my cousins, from Aunt Bridget, with a heartbeat like mine. Finley's got a tummy ache, says Avery, probably from all those cookies after dinner. Thank you. Thank you, Avery. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. I put a hand on my stomach. I think I had like 10 at least. Grandma does not look convinced. She stares at me like I am a spot on her spotless white floor. She's trying to hide it, but I can see. I am not a heart. Not to her. Not ever. Hearts do not freak out for no reason in the middle of the night. Would you like some medicine? Asked Grandma. Something to calm your stomach? No, that's okay. I'm fine. I'll be fine. She fills a cup of water, gives it to me, feels my forehead, frowns, wipes her hands on a hand towel, tries to hide the wiping, fails. I see, and I know what that means. I do not blame her. I would not want to be contaminated by me either. Drink up, she says. I'm sure you'll feel better in the morning. No, I won't. Okay. I never feel better. Not even now that I am queen. Thanks, Grandma. Sorry to wake you up. It isn't any trouble. Wake me if you have trouble getting back to sleep, okay? As if I would ever bother her like that. Once Grandma has gone back to bed, everything is quiet. I can feel Avery looking at me, but I ignore her because I am so humiliated I want to melt onto the floor. And I still cannot breathe quite right. I am still sweating and still shaking. And I know what I look like right now because I have often examined myself in the mirror during such moments. I look pale, sick, hollowed out. Avery does not seem to care that I am ignoring her. She scoots closer and pulls me into her arms. And even though I am sweaty, even when I start to cry, she holds on tight. Chapter 23. What do you do when you wake up in the middle of the night in a house that is not yours and you lose yourself to strange sadness and fear inside you worse than you have ever before and humiliate yourself in front of your most terrifying family members? If you are me, you sleep. A lot. On Sunday, I think maybe around lunchtime, Gretchen tiptoes into my dark room. Finley? She sits on the bed where I lie under a mountain of blankets. Are you okay? Grandma said you got sick last night. If only it were some kind of sickness. Maybe I could take medicine or undergo a radical experimental surgery, something to cut the sickness out. But it isn't that. It is sadness. No reason to be sad. So many rational, listable reasons to not be sad. I know. I have listed them. And yet, it remains inside me. Yeah, I mumble. Too many cookies. Oh, I've totally done that before. Grandma's cookies are so good and yet so very evil. I think the more you eat them, the more you have to keep on eating them, like a curse. Maybe she got the recipe from one of the Everwood witches. That sounds like something they would do, right? Or maybe Grandma is a witch. She's not a witch, I say into my pillow. She's too clean. Gretchen scoots closer to me. Hey, really, are you okay? Do you need me to bring you something? More blankets? A sadness extractor freshly sharpened? Do you ever have bad days? I ask her. Sure. Mom says that's when you get up on the wrong side of the bed. So you feel sad? Yeah, I guess, but I just go outside and run around, or Mom does something doofy and I feel better. Ah, I see. Then our bad days are not the same. On my bad days, running around or going outside or being doofy changes nothing. My sadness still sticks at me like a sword. Gretchen pokes me. You think you'll be okay for the fireworks tomorrow? The 4th of July. My summer here is half over. Yeah, I'm just tired. Jack left a note at the post office. Says he wants to go to the Bone House tonight. He says he likes cleaning. He's incredibly weird. I know I should want to go too. After all, I am the queen. It was my idea to start cleaning up the Bone House, to make it back into a home. I found the photograph. I led myself and Gretchen into the wasteland that first day. I have a responsibility to my forest, to my people, and part of me does want to go truly, but the rest of me sinks lower into the mattress at the thought of having to get out from under these covers. The idea of even moving my hand to touch Gretchen is overwhelming. It is much, much easier to stay still. Until I have recovered from last night is all. Just until then. As Mom would say, after a particularly stressful day, I need more time to recover my equilibrium. There isn't anything wrong with that, is there? You'll feel better by then, right? Asks Gretchen. Maybe, I say. I'll try. I'm going to nap for a while. Well, we'll be outside. Dax wants to paint the walls outside the tower, and I think we should let him so Kennedy doesn't pull her hair out. That okay with you? The painting? Or Kennedy pulling her hair out? Gretchen snorts. Now that's funny. Feel better, okay? I think that might not be an option for me. I will. I pretend to yawn. Thanks, Gretchen. And then she is gone and I am alone, which is what I wanted, but it doesn't make me feel any better. I wake up later and dig out my phone from underneath my pillows. I find Dad in recent contacts. My thumb hovers over the call buttons. But what would I say? Dad, I am freaking out for no reason. Dad, I am pretending I am sick today so I don't have to talk to anyone. Dad, I hurt and I don't know why. But then what? Then he would come and get me, and I would have to be at home with him and Mom and their problems. Am I one of their problems? I cannot be one of their problems. I will not allow it. I slide the phone underneath the pillows and wrap myself back in my blankets. It will go away on its own. Whatever this is, it has to. I will make it go away. Even sad people have to eventually leave their beds for the most basic reason: hunger. I have missed lunch, but there are sandwiches in the refrigerator. I eat only because I know I must eat. But it isn't like I want to die. I have heard of such things as suicidal thoughts. Sometimes I have even examined my sadness with that in mind. Are these suicidal thoughts? Do I want to die? No. Do I want to hurt myself? No, I am simply sad. So it isn't that. But when I eat the ham and cheese sandwich, I am eating it like a car consumes gasoline. I am not sure I actually taste it. There is bread, cheese, ham, mayonnaise. I am a machine obeying my programming. Chew, 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 swallow. The house is quiet. Afternoon light pours in through the sunroom and warms my toes. I hear someone moving around in the garage and peek out the window. Avery painting, earbuds in, bandana tied around her head. I cannot ever tell what she's painting. They aren't pictures, really. They're more like the floating things you see when you close your eyes. Colors and shapes and thick brushstrokes that cut the whole thing in two. My hand rests on the knob. Should I apologize for what happened last night? Sorry for crying all over your shirt. Sorry for being gross and sweaty. Sorry you lied for me. Sorry for being such a freak, Avery. I cannot do it. I'm too frightened. So I wander. I could go outside. Every now and then I hear one of my cousins shouting. But shouting and sunshine and having to talk and answering questions. How are you feeling? Are you okay? Did you eat something? Did you throw up? So I wander through the quiet, cool house. The carpet is white. The walls are dark. The furniture is polished. The piano in the corner of the living room is old. I press my fingers to random keys. I don't know the first thing about playing music, but it seems like the keys I press make a song anyway, which makes me feel a little better. I even start to think that maybe I will go to apologize to Avery. She would understand, right? She seemed to understand last night. But then I hear a strange sound, like someone crying out in pain. It's coming from the hallway leading to Grandma and Grandpa's bedroom. I have never been to that part of the house, but concern for my grandmother, as much as she terrifies me, pushes me forward. I don't think Grandpa is home. He's probably gone out for one of his drives. What if something's wrong with Grandma? I am the only one around. I sneak down the hallway. It is colder and darker than the rest of the house. Family pictures line the walls, but I don't see Dad in any of them. They are all of my aunts, their husbands, their children. I feel like a shadow in the dark hallway, like I do not entirely exist. Maybe this moment will change things. I will save Grandma from whatever is distressing her and prove myself worthy of her. She will no longer look at me like I am a spot to be cleaned. She will take pictures of me and add them to this wall right beside my cousin's. I feel a tiny tug of happiness inside me. Then I step into her bedroom and I see Grandma, sitting in her vanity, her eyes red. Grandpa holding a syringe to her arm, injecting her. Grandma adjusting her hair, which moves all in one piece, sliding across her scalp. And I understand that is not her real hair. It is a wig. Medicine. A wig, clean and white and smooth. I was not supposed to see this. They turn and stare at me. I must have made a sound. I. Grandpa sits on the bed and rubs a hand over his face. Oh, Finley. Grandma stares at me, her lips drawn tight. I was not supposed to see this. Was not. Was not. I'm sorry, I whisper, and turn and run.